ready? I'm Aaron. With the recent arrival of the workshop characters, the question on your mind might be, who's next? Well, I have taken it upon myself to try practically every character in the workshop to find what the research and community efforts have made possible as the ecosystem from which to choose characters. There's a lot of really brilliant pieces. Many things that are like super fun to play, lots of great ideas, more than could possibly fit in a small roster. There was a tough decision. I have to make a ranking system to have some sort of like objective measure, which I will get to in a second. But right now, just wanted to punch some things. To show off some gameplay at the beginning. I'm going to be going through the top 5 candidates, and then give the detailed rankings. And then there's some links to the characters in the doobly-doo below, if you want to just get straight to playing the characters. But if you want to see some gameplay and what they're all about beforehand, continue to watch. Yeah, here we go. So who is next? The criteria which I tried to select by is on the left, and the criteria, or the things on the right, are what has sort of happened as a result of the characters that have come out already. So we already saw that all of the portrait art gets updated. Some of the sprite work gets detailed, for example, Olympia's crystal. We even have some like design stuff, the way Molo's bombs totally changed. How difficult is it to balance a character looking at what nerfs are made in order to do that? It's easier to reduce the size of the hits and the damage than to actually change any of the core gimmick mechanics. So in terms of design work, you want to look around stuff that's like a little bit ready to work. I don't know, like a bunch of complex interacting things might be harder to balance than like a core thing that all works around itself, if you know what I mean. Some of those things we saw can be re-added as Abyss rooms, the like move canceling for Olympia. There's a whole bunch of really great designers in the workshop, and it'd be great to get as many of the key ones on the team as possible, because they'll have like their own talents. But there's the like realism of projects as well for budgets and the amount of hours that people can work. So to go more into those like criteria that I'm ranking by, the overall question was like, how likely is it that a character will fit in with the base cast? So the art style, whether it matches what's existing there, and then how done it is in general, and then also the like themes. Does it draw on existing stuff that's been illustrated in lore and part of the Rivals universe? Then the elemental theme is like, the categories of each elemental theme they were in competition with each other. So all the fires, all the earths, like had to be the best of those things. But it also brings something new to the table, but like kind of something that was a familiar design from before. So the ensemble of that sort of fits into like fit for the theme, and then the design is more about the like gimmick and how that ties in. So there's some crossover there, of course, with like the use of steam, Eliana's steam in the fire element, for example, where it has some familiarity, but is fundamentally different. And then playability is the balance, the contrast between like fun to play, fun to pick up, fun to play around with, and then like balanced. And I'm not a competitive player, so I had to survey what was the opinions out there. And if you want to be more specific about your opinions, there's also a survey link so that people can communicate to that, and I'll pass that on because I have no idea. Okay, so my first pick would actually be the introduction of a new element. We have candidates for Abyss stuff to make a new round of stuff. So how many characters are likely to be introduced? I thought 5 would be a good start because you get the like new element of darkness and then 1 of each one. But you could even tease it out as 2 elements of darkness to begin with and then do another round of 4. Who knows? My top picks. These are their themes, lovely. Michael Lick on top does some like bouncy grappler stuff, and he sets up bubbles and does slicing moves. Slevin has a prism thing that they interact with the projectiles and has really floaty movement. Cyros has a ghost and a shuriken thingy and like assassin type moves. And Carcassonne is a cultist who has to kill in time or it will insta-death to his master. So for each of the elements, I'm going to go into the top 2 before showing you the actual scoring to try to show off the mechanics a little bit. So NA can make these like zoner projectiles and the bubbles as well. And if you splice the bubbles, you can make them explode. So forward special makes the thing, neutral special is big. Other big. On the other side of the table, we have Michael Lick, who is this fungal grappler. That up air there will grab onto platforms and players, as will that. The little fungi bit they put out there was set up for the thing. I'm not used to playing any of that much yet. This is a really cool concept. I just haven't figured it out as much. Yeah, so you can see Michael has some like force field bouncy things going on and can detonate that mushroom there as well as use it for other things while it has its advantage. Whoa! Not counting his combos though. So overall rankings for this new element. The art, obviously, of Michael Lick is beautiful. Theme fits on theme well. The mechanic is cool. Has a bunch of spacey stuff. Kind of a play on the fungi, and it's super fun to play. These are my assessments of the rankings, and you can disagree with them if you want to. So I'm just letting you take those in for a moment, and then we can move on to the next one. In the Earth, we have Epinel, and CEA. CA? I'm not sure. CEAE. Character from side, which works with grass. So Epinel is this like grappler that uses anti-gravity and platforms and can spike through the platforms and miss that one. So you can grab them into inertia as well if you do it with that plus side. And hopefully the AI will do it, but CEA has the ability to do some like invisible stuff with their grass that they put down, which they can put down with either projectiles or special time units. Fullstream has said that FNL is their workshop. Whether that's changed, I don't know. CEA is made by Sai, who has made a ton of excellent characters. And has some really cool chops for coding in the appearance of specials and stuff. So the themes of them, FNL being that sort of anti-grav inertial thing with the platforms. If you bash them through platforms, you get more damage. CA, the ninja style. Guadua could still be balanced and has a cool mechanic. Thorin gets speed energy boosts when they connect with their leaping specials to continue their combo game. It's pretty straightforward fighter. Otherwise has a like earth disc thing that they can throw. Then Drosera is cool, sets up a flower that's a Venus flytrap and has some like long-range grappling toss moves. It's really fun. So here's my scores for them. The new symbols here, the purple means that there is Abyss runes already programmed in for them. And then the green hearts are special and the orange hearts are like just eked into that quadrant. So then FNL here is mechanically, I think it might be difficult to balance because it's another element of thing, and then the platforms have to interact with other people and stuff. I'm not sure what that's going to be as a challenge. And then the play of FNL is super fun and solid. Art is the only place that they missed, and I really feel like there's something flat about their sprite work. There's not like a lot of volumetric things on their body. Kind of like a 2D character. Which is fine, it's part of the style. But if you saw the... Watch me SD. SD number 1, counting for the video. I'm tracking this, I'm not competitive. I've only picked it up like a month or so ago, and DI and Wave that's so new to me because I was just playing Brawlhalla. Anyway, YouTubes are all better. But I still love this type of game, it's super fun. So like movement and two-dimensional strategy and play and stuff from the platform fighters is I don't know, I think it's something special in the fighting community that has happened and is support. Yeah, so the sprite work, like, I almost feel like FNL could live with a redesign and be more of an animal form. I don't know if I have the hours to do the sprite work for that sort of thing, though. Certainly, is that something that is under consideration? And then, like, the platforms are really beautiful, but use this, like, texture shading that isn't present in the character. So I think that there needs to be an art rework here somewhere. Can I get you in the slam? But I've done the thing. Obviously, I'm not. Go watch full streams if you want to see this character in action. In fact, for all of these characters, if you like the way they look, you're better off looking at other people's YouTube videos for gameplay. I am just here to do the review and show off some mechanics for people unfamiliar with what they should be looking for on the Steam Workshop to try. So that's my opinion on the art. Guadua, I think, is like a beautiful piece of work, representative of the art, with a lot of like internal line shading that's not black, that's like colored and stuff. Totally on theme, obviously fits with the universe because it's made by the developers and is kept in the card game. Play, I hear she's super busted, and her like dash attack and neutral air feel kind of oppressive. I really like the bamboo thing personally. I think it's a lot of fun, but I don't get to play it at workshop because everybody's taking her off. So yeah, torn into Sarah. Good, solid stuff. Fishes! Who gets in the water? Here's their themes. Panzer is basically a cross between Orcane and Eliana. Has the Orcane recovery into the puddle, has a water turned into steam mechanic, but can still puddle charge their strongs. Anglara is a straightforward fighter with some like charge up special moves and a detonating ice lure ball. Zera uses the ice mechanic, similar but more extreme than SMS, and allows her specials to get stronger when she's moving a bunch of different speed and like has switching direction stuff. So pretty cool things. Flake is from LucasStar and is able to set up a snowflake that they recover with and interact, and then also some icicle shards that can be left out and come back. Airless is a super solid competitive fighter as well, has a rounded moveset, and she's like kind of tiny and stately. She's just cool looking. So for the rankings of those, it's right away. Let's, Panzer. The art is like cool concept, but maybe like not enough detail on the sprites. Theme is on point for sure. Play, I've heard some rumors that they might be busted for a competitive level, but I don't know. I think it'd be worth working around. Both her, I don't know just the gender of the fish, both it and Anglara have abyss runes. And yeah, I really like playing Anglara. It's super fun, probably would be easy to balance because it's like super straightforward fighter, like accessible in the way that Olympia is. Zera is super fun to play because of the ice mechanic, but also like, I think that would be hard to balance with all of the other people. Throwing her into the cast might make, I don't know, does it work that way with like different matchups? So Zera is a specific matchup as opposed to something you can play with everyone. Flake was less on theme because it's getting towards the humanoid. I tried to bias towards the animal morphs for the selection because that was really a theme that was established for Rivals of Aether. So really I filled up the top ones of those things and then like which ones were better than ones that were animal morph and not very good or completed characters out of the top of the furries, and no humans at all. So the closer they were to humanoid, they like the ranking system in theme goes against them. That said, Glace is from LucasStar, which is a very solid character as well. So Panzer being able to call in water with down B or side B. The AI for Anglar is actually one of the best ones. I'm running out of water here. If you don't have a puddle as Panzer, you can't recover. See? You can do that with Laser Puddle. So that's why I'm definitely trying to get out my puddle here. If you recovery into a puddle, you create an extra splash smash. Also, the AI can cancel into specials, so that's either something that I need to be able to DI out of, or probably just like that. So you can take your water, you can blow up those things. Flash, steam. The steam meter is the white bit in there, and you can steam puddles. Oh, I've never seen that before. And it's moving on the platform. Oh yeah, there's a hover if you have steam as well. Okay, moving on to air. There is Glare, who is this moth or butterfly, I think. Using infrared and ultraviolet light, they establish a crystal, and then they have a whole bunch of projectiles that can bounce things through it themselves. And others, Monarch, which is a beautifully done animated character with a whole bunch of teleporting mechanics, and flies around. Glare has a hover, and Trommel and Alto is also made by Muno, which is made by Glare as well. Glare is their most recent character. And Trommel and Alto is a super fun character that I've seen a bunch of competitive play. Zephyr is this gliding flying squirrel, which also has some of the raster wind lanes going on. Sin is another character by Geek, who made Michael Lick and Molo, and they are this like floaty character with a whole bunch of UFO types spinning itself around moves, and then is an archer with the planets that it has. And to go into rating on those, air was really tricky because there's like three super solid characters. So you could argue that Trommel and Alto is the most competitively established, but Glare is the most recent character from Muno, and I think that it would be easier to balance around this crystal mechanic, which is similar to other types of zones that people can establish and then work around. Whereas Trommel and Alto has a lot going on, and they're really cool, but it's a lot going on, so it might be hard to balance. Monarch is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful character, like dazzling almost, and a bunch of the teleport mechanics on it are a little bit confusing, so I don't know how I'm sure that could be balanced, but yeah. So the three of them were really like tied for quality, and it was hard to say which one to take. I sort of went with this order in terms of fitting with the universe and the mechanical thing. Zephyr, there's opinion of a bunch of people that it was busted, exploitable. I couldn't get a handle on them because they had this weird flying, windy thing going on, which is really cool, which makes them fun to play. Which was why I gave them a 5 in brackets there, because if you could resolve that, like I think it would be really great to have those mechanics. And Splurf is into those sort of like sliding mechanics. Sin also solid character. So let's get into the show of those. Monarch has teleport, an hot air that's a projectile, this side special projectile. There's Glare's crystal. When you hit with it, will teleport you to it. Anyone who hits Glare's crystals can make use of the so Monarch has these portals technologies, which can be used 6 times. But don't do any damage. And the strongs are really neat. Like down goes up, side goes sideways, goes back. Up is just your gun. So in terms of the kit of Glare, I really think that it's pretty well rounded. They're not showing off the change of things here that you can do with Glare. So the two types of crystals will throw out at different heights, and then you can charge up your crystal. SD! You just push in the arrow first. With that, this can go through crystals in a 50-50, and the other part shoots out the projectile. So, some nice setups with the crystal. And you can bounce kick into it as well.
Dreadful.
Yeah.
Dreadful.
Jeez. So why did I pick Claire compared to the prettiest one or the one that has the most time in competitive circuit? Well, this is their third character. They have the most experience. They've been an incredible workshop contributor. Like, well, would you put them in the top 5? Probably. Like really nice work. The sprites on this, like, there's a lot of black outlines in the middle of the character, which isn't really replicated in the base cast. Like, they use a lot more internal shading, so they probably use another like color that was related to the like object source lighting for the crystal, or if you wanted. But like, there's creative things you can do there without actually having to fundamentally redo the sprite work. Whereas Monarch is like a beautiful masterpiece. So I am assuming that since Trumlin also has seen so much competitive play, and Muno's been around for a while, that this is actually going to be a very easy character to balance. And then there's this crystal mechanic that they're setting up here. I'm not used to talking and playing at the same time, so I'm even worse than you know. Is a good precedent to set because it occurs in a bunch of other characters, like Slevin, for example, and also Airless had this as well. So I'm not sure where this, like, put an object down and charge it up with your projectiles or interact with it came from Smash game maybe? Or is it a new one to Workshop? I don't know. But it's a cool idea, and it's got a lot of uses, and I think it's an easy mental construct for many people to understand, and it's like a whole category of zoners, basically. So you have like ones who have the grounded stuff, ones that are more floaty, and then like this does have the floaty, that's for sure, because it like air command and movement options are great. But it still has that like zoning aspect in that Yeah, so I think that there's just like a lot of like really solid fundamentals and playability out of this character. So in terms of like the meta, I think it would be great. These are the balance and get moved on board. So let's move on to next. Fire! Reichenburn is a character that's been around for a while and is continuing to see updates. Uses Eliana's clouds as soot, which cause the burn, and then the grabs and the throws are much stronger. Targma just got an animation update, looks great, and sets down a bunch of different types of traps, and then a lava ball that it can bounce off of it. Tenru uses the firecrackers from Malo, but then the rope from Guadua, and can also interact with other players. So it's really this springy, the gummy whip, like Michael Liek. I forgot to look it up for the video. Is anyone saying the name properly? Michael Liek. Anyways, so the elastic stuff is super fun to play with, and you can of course direct the bombs. I feel like the firecrackers don't come out early enough and could do less damage and just be set up as a stun combo-y confusing thing, but that's possible that it's used in play and I'm just not good enough. Static is really cool animation and has a battery thing with charges that it can set on its electrical state. Nova is a very solid all-rounder with the Clarion there. Similar, not the same space control, mostly focusing on fighting and not a lot of the zoning. So the rankings for those, Reichenburn comes in first for me, closely followed by Targma. And Tenru I want to put into the game because it mirrors that Michael-like thing, but Targma is really cool. And I think people will do a lot of really creative things, and it's like a neat mechanic to get into the game, to have these like zoning traps. But I don't know, it might be hard to balance. I haven't seen them in a lot of... Down special. Bigger the longer you hold it. There's one of Targma's traps. Fall. Oh, that vertical trap's the ball interacts with. So as you can see, they're both really good looking characters. Lots of fun stuff in there. I think it's neutral special here, but... Can't jump with them, but... Solid normal speed, I'm just like trying to show off his specials. Yeah, so again, try out these characters for yourself. There's the links in below, which have the top 16, and which I'll reveal in a minute, and then the top 60 of ones that were on theme that I selected from, and then also I made another humanoids and furries list. Because a whole bunch of those were in competitive lists, but they just didn't fit the theme as created by the, nature of the game. But of course, an important part of the community. So. Hujaba! No. So the 16, top 16, here we go. In this order: Reichenburn, Glare, Panzer, Epinel, Michaelik, Liek, NA, Tromlin Alto, Monarch, Kargma, CA, Anglara, Blake, Torin, Tenru, Zera, and Zephyr. Featuring these curators. Thank you so much for your work, everyone. Here we go. So 7 or 8, like in there, Tromlin Alto or Monarch. Probably only one of those characters would go in at the beginning for work constraints, I would assume. Quad 1-7 I put in here because I really would like to see them in the game, but this seems like the most likely choice of people actually making it into the game. To go into a little bit further detail of why I ranked things the way I did in terms of like how do I associate balance and playability, I looked for what was out there. I talked to people on the Discord, but then there was also the like desire to keep in some playability of cool stuff. In terms of the theme, like, does the element fit into something that exists? Is it a little bit hard to categorize? I mean, like, Otto is a cool character, but is modern, right? Static, electricity could be fire. What else would it be? Tromlin also has like air, fire, or the electricity and clouds. So where do they go? Put them in the air because they're floaty and fun. But then there's like Emerald, Pone Gumbo, Chef and Chef 2, all food things. And then there was like a potion theme, like where does that go? Is that water? Like, and then there's a bunch of music ones, of course, as well. So did they fit into an existing element? Are they using existing mechanics in a new way so we can like kind of learn the language of what is there but have like a new take on it? Or is it like bringing something new to the table that fits with the rest of them? Also under theme was this like level of animal form. You have Orcane, which is our cute little whale puppy, and he's like fully animal. He's actually 2 animal forms at once. But more dog than whale, I guess. Size changed. Anyways, so the correct way I measured this criteria was taken from an old pen and paper role-playing game for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And what you would do when you were creating your mutant is you had a certain number of like bio-E points, and you could associate these with different changes of your animal morphology. So original size, original form would be free, but the more humanoid you went, the more you would have to like pay for those things to happen. And you would also get these like pure powers. You could have like magical and psychic powers in this game as well. We also had one in like Mad Max, so that was super fun. Mad Max Ninja Turtles, yes please. Yeah, so like changing your size as well. Rana was obviously tiny and Adolescence is huge, so you like downgrade some steps, and there was a whole thing. Anyways, it was more or less to say like the Rivals of Aether cast has already biased itself towards these. Yeah, I totally have my head in the way. Oh, my slideshow! And animal forms, and I think that's on theme. So I'm just trying to justify my decision because there were so many good characters. It was like, where do I draw the line, right? Anyways, that's that. All of these links, you can get them if you want. Survey there to tell me how wrong I am on everything.